Hello everyone, I'm here at Lark Hill Farm in Essex with international show jumper Graham Lovegrove. Today we've made a series of videos for you explaining how Graham trains his horses at home using grid work, something I think that we all do, maybe do a little bit badly and a little bit wrong, so we're going to find out how the experts do it. Hi Graham, thank you very much for talking to us today. Now we've just met your horse Tintin and have been out in the school with the grids. Tell us a little bit about Tintin.
Tintin is now 8-year-old now. I've had him since he was 5. He's Dutch bred horse by Cavalier. He was 3rd in the Fox Hunter final last year, which was good for him. You know, as a 7-year-old, that was excellent. I was really pleased with him there. And then looking forward, I'm hoping to try and get to a Nations Cup with him, hopefully this season.
Fabulous. Now he's a big, powerful horse, as they'll see on the film in a moment. And you're saying that the gymnastics for horses and the grid work that you use at home is really important. Why is that?
Well, for a horse like him, of his size, it's very important for him to keep in balance. And as you see on the footage, he's staying in balance with the poles that we've done. That's the most important thing for him.
Okay, so we started with a canter pole grid, and that's what we're seeing now. So this is you riding through a combination of poles on the ground. They're a little bit raised. So just talk us through the setup of this grid. Okay,
so basically I've started with 10 poles on the floor, raised, as you can see, raised. I like to have them raised for one, if they accidentally kick it, it doesn't fly and roll miles away, and I like the fact being raised, it does actually make them step, so it is regulating their stride much better by being only 4 or 5 centimetres from the floor.
So the point of the poles is to regulate the rhythm. Is that what
that's we're talking about? Rhythm and the stride, keeping it equal. You know, the horse has to stay level, and that's the most important thing. You know, when you see other people going in the ring, it's all whoa, 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 go, go, go. You don't want that. You want to keep it smooth, fluid. You know, you watch the top riders riding, it's smooth. That's the most important thing. So with these poles set up at 3.30 meters, you can see that he's consistently stepping the same every time.
Now you're really hot on the distances being accurate, aren't you? Because a lot of people, we all do it. We're out there stepping and striding. Just explain how you do it and how important it is.
I always use a tape. You can't build these grids without a tape, and as I say, this is set at 3.30 meters. For each canter pole is that distance, and I do all my canter poles at that. There are other exercises where I change the distance, make it shorter and longer, but just for this exercise today, I will keep it at 3.30.
Now when you're riding the grid, as we'll see at the moment, talk us through how you're riding it. Are you doing anything? How are you coming off the corner? Are you setting it up, or is the horse just taking you?
Basically, I'm trying to come in even, not with rushing or too slow or anything. I'm just trying to keep his balance so that once I get inside the first pole, then I try and leave it up to him. I will just keep a little contact if I think he's overrunning, and if he's not stepping enough to each pole, I will just put a little bit of leg on just to keep the momentum correct.
Now for people that haven't done an exercise of this scale before, because when you look at it, it's a bit daunting to look at, how do they start off? Because you spoke a little bit earlier about it being a layered sort of effect. You can start small and grow it into something of that size.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I would start with 3 poles.
Right.
3 poles on the floor, canter up and down there, get them used to that, happy with that, then do 4 poles, and then you can do 5, and then once you've done the 5th pole, you can change that to a little fence. So you could do 4 poles and then a fence, and then as you see in the grid, it's progressively got more complicated. So I've gone 2 poles to a small fence, land, keep the balance the same, 4 more strides, 5 more strides to another fence. You know, you can do, there's so many permutations you can do in this exercise.
But start small, start with a few poles, and then grow it.
Get your horse confident at doing 2, 3, 4 poles before you start to get to build too many.
Now also the other point I think is good to make is the planning of this, and to have someone on the ground with you and not just to go out there and try and do it all yourself. Is that quite important to you?
That's what dads are for.
It's a great family
setup.
It's
dad's job. He loves it. He's always, you can't do it without someone. You know, if they move the pole, you have to get off, you change the rhythm, you lose the momentum you had of your exercise.
So if you had to give 3 top tips as to use this canter grid, what would you say are the most important things from a rider's point of view to use a grid like this?
From my point of view, it's tape measure, dad or someone, and I like the poles off the floor.
Brilliant. Well, Tintin looks fantastic in this footage. Graham Lovegrove, thank you very much.
Thank you.